I didn't notice it right away. That's what bothers me the most. If something disappears slowly enough, your brain fills in the gaps for it. You don't question it. You assume you forgot, or clicked the wrong thing, or imagined how it used to look. That's how this started. I booked the house for 2 weeks in July. Nothing fancy, just a quiet summer place outside a small town in the US. Somewhere warm, somewhere empty, somewhere I could disappear for a while without anyone asking questions. The listing was normal. Photos of a white, 2-story house. Big windows, clean interior, hardwood floors, a backyard that looked too neat to be real. The description talked about peace, privacy, and silence. It said the nearest neighbors were far enough to feel alone. That line should have stopped me. It didn't. The host's name was generic. The profile picture was a landscape, no face. But there were reviews. Not many, but enough. All short, all positive. Very quiet. Perfect if you want to be alone. Felt like time slowed down here. I thought that last one was poetic. I drove there on a Tuesday. The town was smaller than I expected. One grocery store, one gas station, a diner that closed before sunset. Everything baked in summer heat. No crowds, no tourists. The house sat at the end of a long road with no sidewalks. Trees on both sides. Cicadas loud enough to feel inside your skull. When I pulled into the driveway, my phone lost signal. I didn't think anything of it. The key was under the mat, exactly where the host said it would be. Inside, the house was cold. Not air conditioning cold, just cool. Like it hadn't been touched by the heat outside. It smelled clean, too clean. No dust, no clutter, no signs of anyone actually living there. But nothing was missing either. Furniture was placed deliberately, couch-centered, chairs pushed in, kitchen stocked with basics. No personal items, no photos. It felt staged. I told myself that's just how vacation rentals are. That first night, everything was fine. I unpacked, ordered takeout from the only place still open, watched something meaningless on my laptop. The Wi-Fi worked perfectly. The silence was heavy but pleasant. I slept well. The second day passed quietly. I went into town, bought groceries, came back. No one stopped me. No one asked questions. The cashier barely looked at me. That night, I tried to show a friend the place. I opened the Airbnb app to send them the listing. It wasn't there. I assumed I was offline, but the Wi-Fi was working. Everything else loaded. I searched manually. Nothing. I checked my reservations. The trip was still listed. Dates still there. Address still visible. But when I tapped the listing, it wouldn't open. Just a loading circle that never finished. I shrugged it off. Apps glitch. Listings get hidden. Hosts update things. I went to bed. On the third day, I noticed something else. The house wasn't on Google Maps. The road showed up, the surrounding trees, but the house itself didn't. I stood in the driveway, phone in hand, zooming in and out. It was like the house existed physically, but not digitally. I told myself rural areas are like that. I didn't leave that day. The heat was intense. The house stayed cool, too cool. At night, I heard something outside, not footsteps, movement, slow, careful, like someone walking without shoes, avoiding sound. I looked out the window, nothing. The trees were still, no wind, no animals. I slept poorly, in minus. On the fourth day, I tried messaging the host. Just a simple question about extending my stay. The message sent, but it never showed as delivered. No read receipt, no response. I checked the host profile. It was gone. Not deactivated. Gone. The reservation still existed. The payment still showed. But the host no longer had a name, a photo, or a profile. Just a blank placeholder. That's when I started feeling uneasy. I called Airbnb support. I was on hold for a long time. When someone finally answered, I gave them my reservation number. There was a pause. Then the agent said, "Can you confirm the address again?" I did. Another pause. Then, "That address isn't associated with any active listings." I felt my stomach drop. I explained that I was currently staying there. She went quiet, then said, "Sir, according to our system, your stay ended yesterday." I laughed. I told her that wasn't possible. She asked me to check out. I told her I never checked in digitally. The app never prompted me to. She put me on hold again. When she came back, her voice sounded careful. She said, "I don't see any record of you checking in or checking out." I asked what that meant. She said, "It means I can't verify that you're supposed to be there." I asked if I should leave. She hesitated, then said, "If you feel unsafe, you should remove yourself from the property." The call dropped. I tried calling back. The number didn't connect. End quote. That night, the Wi-Fi stopped working. My phone still had signal outside, but inside the house, nothing loaded. I noticed the locks on the doors didn't look new, not broken, just old, like they'd been replaced many times. I checked the windows, all locked, two locked. Some didn't open at all. That night, I heard footsteps upstairs. I froze. I hadn't been upstairs yet. I told myself houses settle, wood expands, heat shifts, but the steps were paced, measured. Someone walking from one end of the house to the other. I stayed on the couch until morning. And prizes. On the 5th day, I tried to leave. My car wouldn't start. No warning lights. No sounds. Just nothing. The road felt longer walking than driving. The town was quieter. The diner was closed. The grocery store lights were on, but the doors were locked. I knocked. No one answered. I walked to the gas station. Same thing. Everything looked operational. Nothing was accessible. I checked my phone. No signal. When I turned back toward the road, I realized something. I didn't remember passing any houses on the way into town. Just trees. Just road. Like the house existed slightly outside of where things normally were. I went back. The house looked the same, waiting. That afternoon, I found a notebook in a kitchen drawer. I don't know how I missed it before. It was old, worn, filled with handwriting that wasn't mine. Dates, names, short entries. Stayed longer than planned. Couldn't reach host. Town feels empty. House doesn't like when I talk about leaving. The last entry was just one sentence. If you're reading this, it means the listing is gone. I dropped the notebook. The house was silent, too silent. That night, I heard movement inside the walls. Not animals, slow shifting, like someone adjusting position. The air felt thick, occupied. I didn't sleep. On the 6th day, I tried forcing a window. It didn't break. The glass flexed slightly, like it wasn't meant to shatter. That's when I understood. The house wasn't keeping people out. It was keeping someone in. That night, the footsteps came downstairs, stopped outside the room I was in. I held my breath. The footsteps didn't move. They waited, like they expected me to come out. Eventually, they went back upstairs. I stopped trying to leave. That's the part I don't like admitting. The house stayed comfortable as long as I didn't resist. Food appeared in the fridge. Basic things. Nothing I remembered buying. The temperature stayed perfect. The nights were quiet, as long as I didn't talk about leaving. I checked my phone one morning. No date, no notifications, no messages, just battery percentage. Time felt wrong, like days were happening without being counted. I started writing in the notebook. I don't remember starting, but my handwriting is there. Even, I don't know how long I stayed. Weeks? Months? One day, my phone connected again. I opened Airbnb. A new listing appeared. Different house. Same description. Perfect if you want to be alone. If you dead. I understood then. The house doesn't trap everyone. It rotates. When one stay ends, another begins.